genius of rock and roll. Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. I am your host, the amazing Super Chris Mallard. Thank you for joining me. There are many Chris's out there. There's just only one amazing Super Chris. Yeah, that's kind of where that comes from. I hope you've had a good weekend. It's Tuesday. I was off yesterday thanks to the ladies over at the Javas and Jugs. They may have changed the name. Sorry. But they had cool stuff over there and they gave me the day off. I got a haircut. Several of them, all of them, I think, were cut. And so that's cool. I look human again. So we're going to have some fun. Ryan will be here in a minute. She's restarting her computer, blessing it, praying over it, Jedi mind trick, that sort of thing, probably setting it on fire. Well, we'll be back in just a minute. We'll talk about those things.
Mi burrito es tan bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. El ataco bueno bueno, it stings like a bee. They told me she was his sister, now I'm plagued between the knees. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Aaron, absolutely. Go ahead and post that thing. I've got Ryan here. Let's see where Ryan is. There's Ryan.
You do. You have Ryan. Hi.
I hear an echo today. I hear me, in fact. Through you.
You hear an echo through me?
Yeah.
Should I try to reboot again?
There's probably in your mic settings, there's probably I don't know, something. It's been a day or two. I don't hear it now, though. I'm not hearing it now. Are you muted?
No, I am not.
Okay, good. I think we got it. I think you just needed a moment to catch up. It was still starting. Aaron, it did. Miss Aaron on Sequitur says, is it plotted me to post a link to Discord in the song you did? Yes, absolutely. I got to get my rose and a duck one of these days. Here's what I'm going to do. I got to update my end screen that has my video of all of our members. And I'm also going to switch out the music to where it's actually Aaron singing the.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She did a great job. Good morning, John Hudson. Thank you for joining us this morning. Dragons in Genesis podcast. Indeed. Always Never sleep with someone's wife, sister wife, of course, without checking with the Pharaoh's physician first. Have the Pharaoh's physician go over her at least once or twice to make sure that, she doesn't have the cross. Anyway, great advice. Great advice. Good morning, the mighty Filbert. Thank you for joining us. Austin Sims is here. Good morning, Austin. Thank you for being here. I hope everything's going great. Man, everybody's here. Left-Handed Jedi, Amy Nicole Cervantes, you guys. So, how's everything going, everybody? I just wanted to point out that Tawhid says, and I think it's kind of interesting. We kind of got a couple of things going on. First, I hope you had a great weekend, Tawhid. I'm glad to see you back despite me being so aggressive as I was the other day, because I get that way. It's nice to see that you're back. Now, one of the things you pointed out in the chat is like, you said something like, once somebody sees how big the universe is, then they realize there's a God. I think that's actually kind of backwards. Once people learn enough science to realize how big the universe is, it's like there are trillions of galaxies, an uncountable number of planets, stars, and God gives a damn what you do.
We're insignificant.
Yeah, we're so tiny. And we're so tiny and just in time too. The galaxy is billions of years old. It's going to live trillions of years longer. And the slice of time in which you exist is just so absolutely minuscule. And then the time and space, when you put those two together, this creature that created this trillions of years of universe and uncountable numbers of planets and stars and galaxies really is going to go around caring which way you sit when you pray. That's his concern. I'm just saying that's kind of how
he got nothing better to do, Chris. He ain't got nothing better to do. He ain't got no friends.
All right, no, he doesn't smited them all to hell.
Exactly. So all there is us to frick with.
But anyway, I appreciate you being there and talk lead, and I see it. It's just in my mind. It's just the universe itself is so incredible to think that we are. It's part of like the whole manifest destiny of the United States back in the 1900s when they were colonized the Western United States, and this whole you'll hear it on TV too. Like, man, at one time was the center of our solar system. No longer. However, if you watch TV or science fiction or any of that business, man is the center of the universe. Not obviously our galaxy. We know better now. But whenever you hear, they always talk about like mankind is so unique and we're special and blah, 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 blah. It's like, have you guys seen Star Trek? It's fantastic that the Vulcans are stronger than us, smarter than us. They can do anything better than we can. And yet we're somehow special because we have a unique spice or sauce or some bullshit that they don't have. Only because it's humans writers writing this shit down. Am I right or am I right?
And what I noticed too, it just made me think about Atlantis and how what's her name? She says Godspeed. I think she says it once, and I think a couple other people say something similar.
Weir, you mean?
Weir. Thank you. Weir.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do they keep like throwing that? You discovered this interplanetary traveling in an instant. That it was created by people who were like thousands upon thousands of years old, but yet you still think that there's a God out there.
A God like the Bible, just with the description of the creature in the Bible. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's just ludicrous whenever you think of it. And actually, I don't think the God creature that's described in the Bible is the same thing that most Christians or believers envision in their mind, Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah. Absolutely not.
The truth of the matter is these humans will pretty much do anything to make themselves comfortable. That's really all it is. They're just trying to find a place in their brain where they feel like, okay, I'm going to be protected. I'm going to be able to live after this life. All I have to do is I have to suck the D of this God, even when he calls me a piece
Suck the D of the G.
Suck the D of the G, even when he calls me a B.
That's right. That's a good point.
Cope, man. It's copious.
It is.
Maximus.
Indeed. Copious Maximus. Better than Ember. Good morning. Ember says, warp drive lasers. Pff, we have those. What is that strange stack of various foods you've got there? Aliens, probably. You know, me and the evil one we're talking about, I heard it somewhere. I cannot claim credit for this. I heard it somewhere. Somebody said, they pointed out, we talked about it once on the show, that iron, steel, gold, diamonds, all of that is just everywhere and it doesn't matter. Trees, wood is more unique within the universe than all of those things. And so that would kind of probably be the thing. I think aliens or somebody like Ember is saying, well, what is that strange, cool stuff you've got there? It looks like, because they're not going to have it. Whatever it is, they're not going to have it. I really see, you know, oftentimes you see these situations where some alien microbe or creature gets into our biosphere and wreaks havoc and destroys it. I don't know that that's really the way that would go down. Our biosphere is pretty fucked up and will go after you and be very, you know, I think they would, it'd be more like the original War of the Worlds. I'm just saying, that's how I feel. Because we got some germs here. We do.
And they sure were resurrecting germs from the Arctic ice.
No doubt.
Thousands of years old.
As if the regional, local, the new ones weren't. The Nuevo viruses weren't cool enough. We got to go digging them up out of the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Who have you killed lately?
Is that all?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not bleeding out your ass, I guess you're not trying.
It ain't that sick.
Yes. So the John Hudson, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This reminds me of a poem. Before I met you, my love was all famished. Now get off my ass and make me a sandwich. That's romantic. That's poetical. Sounds like something Charlie Kirk probably said to his wife or something. Tawhid says, yes, I know the universe is unbelievably massive. The question arises, what is the use of all that gigantic universe? Koran says all this will be destroyed on Judgment Day. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah.
Seems kind of silly to destroy something that we're not even really using anyway. It's like, I won't know the difference.
It really does.
You go out there and destroy all them galaxies. I mean, I think it's silly, it's stupid, but it ain't gonna affect me.
Well, there's this notion of that they're not being used, so it's a waste. Like it's there for someone to use.
Yeah, like it has to be.
That's not its purpose in the universe. We're here. It's there. We happen to use it, but it's not there for the purpose of us to. It's weird,
right?
But you know, I remember growing up thinking, when I was a believer, thinking that, you know, and this is one of the things that kind of got me too, is that, you mean God can see everything? He can see every leaf on every tree and every petal on every flower? Really? That's badass. And if you ask them, they're like, oh yeah, God is everywhere. And when you think about it, trillions of universes or galaxies, trillions of, you know, it's 2 trillion plus that we know of. That's, you know, it's just, is he everywhere? Is it everywhere? Sure, why not? It surely could be everywhere, I guess, if it can do all that. Then why does it allow X, Y, and Z? Why do we have bone cancer in children? Why do we have all of these horrific things that
if you're so
we shouldn't have? Yeah.
You know, if that's all you do is watch us in this infinite universe that, you know, is or is not being utilized by, you want to be right here staring at me. That's like me caring about some blade of grass out in Africa, what it's doing. I don't care.
And then when you really kind of narrow down on it, you have to admit, if that's the case, that it does indeed see everything, then it did indeed look inside that tiny child and witness as the bone cancer started and just watched and did nothing.
Maybe cancer is a gift from God.
And maybe.
He's like, I'm going to bring you with me. Sorry that it's going to take a while and it's going to be painful death, but that just will mean you'll be all that more happier when you get to heaven. It's for your benefit.
Obviously. Here's an interesting point Lieutenant Jedi points out, that the Minbari from Babylon 5 believe the universe is sentient and we are here for it to experience itself. Technically, I don't mean to correct you, Lieutenant Jedi. It's not we are here to experience ourselves. It's that we are the universe. We are the universe seeing itself, examining itself. We're the part of the universe.
Universeception.
Something like that. Yeah. One of the, I really, yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that was kind of how it was like, there's the universe asking, I don't know how to put it, but I really dig the Mindari way of thinking about it.
That sounds pretty cool. Whatever
Yeah.
similar to that concept. That's an interesting thought.
Well, yeah. Well, when you think about it, we've got the universe here, and it's just vast and nothing. It's vast, full of stuff, but it's also empty of life and an intellect, and there's no question. There's no question. And then on this tiny planet, around this tiny insignificant star, this one little group of people, surely not just us, but we are now conscious and aware and able to examine the universe. We are part of the universe, actually looking at it and going, okay, this is, and we are studying it from the inside. There's not like planets out there doing it and stars that do this. It takes a certain kind of thing, and that would be consciousness and awareness, and that is indeed the universe. So technically how the Minbari see it, I feel, is kind of true. It really is. We are part of the universe, and we are conscious and aware, and we examine and study the universe. So we are looking upon itself. I'm going to become a prophet.
That's deep. That's very deep.
It is deep. Yeah. Deep. Yeah, there we go.
I'm
That's right. Me too. That's how I know it's deep, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Talweed says this universe is a reflection of power of God. Yeah, man, I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think, as we just discussed, that it would actually be a reflection or a condemnation of God if God did indeed create this vast and wonderful universe like it is, and yet does things like allow innocent people to be harmed, and you know.
What's so great about all this might and this expanse of universe, if at the end of the day, the people who are experiencing it, you know, like you said, Chris, get horribly ill or murdered in the most gross, fantastical ways.
That's right.
I mean, you can't stop that, but you can make this cool ass galaxy, I guess. Good on you.
Yeah.
We'll give you some snaps, I guess.
So, you know, I mean, it's when you got to stop and think about it, you got to have to say, well, okay, your God created malaria and has had billions of people. Tuberculosis has killed so many people. Tuberculosis is one of the, I mean, it's like everywhere. Ask John Green. He'll say, if he were here, he'd be all about the tuberculosis. Your God did that if you believe in God. You know, us, I mean, I believe in natural selection and evolution and all that business. And we live on a world where energy is consumed. And, you know, we kind of come up in a naturalistic environment where things have to consume other things in order to survive. Viruses and bacterium and all that other business are just part of it. They are doing what they do. And there's nothing cruel about it. A virus doesn't sit around and go, I'm going to hurt that person. No, it's just living its life through doing what it does. And there's no cruelty or evil there. It may look that way to somebody, but there's not. But if you put a God in charge of that, to where this God creature made all that, and oh yeah, it does that because we're bad, we're sinful. This perfect creature created us in its image, yet we're all fucked up and broken, and it's going to release all of these plagues and shit on us just to torment us and fuck us up even more. See, there's like a failure of logic.
Don't sound good.
Here. It really doesn't. It's not a very good, it doesn't make your God sound very good. I mean, like I say, our science just kind of explains it as pretty much, it is what it is. You know, wash your fucking hands because that is real. It will get you because it does what it does. And if you don't protect yourself against the world and what it does, then, you know, I mean, just, it is what it is. But like I say, if you throw a God creature in there, then all of a sudden that makes everything very bad. How many people died throughout history? Have you ever had an abscess tooth?
Oh no.
Have you, Miss Ryan, ever had an abscess tooth?
I've had to get a root canal, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. You've ever had an abscess tooth, and you know what it's like when your face swells up and the pain is just, you know, that will kill you. You can get enough of them where they will actually get blood poisoning from the
blood poisoning.
Yes. The number of people who have died horrifically because of their teeth throughout history is a fantastic number you just wouldn't believe. Chris Hitchens used to talk about it. That was one of his
Yeah.
favorites. You know, and so these things you have to say, man, my God creature is really big on suffering and pain and misery.
It's like his forte. It's his thing. It's his shtick.
It is. It's his thing. It's his bag. And the things that are good and what you might think would be beautiful are often in its eyes considered bad. You know, this creature, you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. It has, I mean, there's a lot of things that it thinks is good, like dashing children's heads against
Yeah,
rocks.
of course.
That
Yeah.
I
Revenge.
myself, as a stupid, idiotic, dumb piece of crap human, would think is bad. But you know, who am I?
Right. Listen,
My
pieces of crap out there, please forgive us for comparing us to you.
So sorry.
No, yes.
Don't be
We
offended.
we are unworthy. You know, that reminds me of that whole Christian stick, the whole we're unworthy. You are so worthy. And, you know, if I remember, it just didn't dawn on me at the time, you know, but looking back, knowing what I know, thinking what I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, what a horrific, pathetic creature their God must be. If it's like, you guys, you need to say my name, tell me you're unworthy. Tell me I'm great. And you got to do it by the millions all the time, by the billions. And that's what it does, is sitting around jacking off to the sound of you going, we're unworthy, you're wonderful, we're unworthy. That's
Maybe that
weird.
is what
Aren't
it's doing.
Christians
He's jacking
weird?
off.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it's
And-
really good.
Yeah. And this whole notion, I mean, if you want to go talk, we don't normally talk about Islam, but you know, Tawhid is here. You know, the notion that you got to pray in the right direction is, you know,
I think
there's
they do that back in the day in Canaan. I think like back in the day, they kind of faced, is it east, right? Rises
you
in
know,
the east.
I
believe-
the horizon is in the east. Yeah.
I think that's where they face, and I apologize. But anyway, I think that was something they used to do back then, but
Yeah.
eventually they tried to move away from like astral worship or whatnot, or make it so it didn't look like they were worshiping these
Right.
astral, you know, deities, whatever.
And now it's to a place, right? So they have to worship to a place. It's not necessarily east.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, they worship. I think they have to
okay.
point specifically towards. I think maybe Mecca. I don't know. There's a Muslim in the chat who may be able to answer that. Do you just pray east, or do you? Or do you have to be specific? I think they even had to come up with special rules for Muslims who were in space at the space station on how they could pray.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about that, which I had never really thought about before, but I guess that makes sense if that's your part of your religion, you have to pray in a specific direction. How the frack do you face that? And you know, even take that even further and say, okay, say we were space explorers and we could go into like another galaxy. So are you still facing Earth?
Wherever
Is
you
that-
think Earth is, yeah.
I guess that's what you have to do.
Now here's the real clincher though. What happens if you're wrong? And apparently they're very serious about it. It's a very serious thing. You got to do it. You got to do it. You must do it. So if it's a thing you must do, what happens if you don't get it right? You know, maybe you're not praying in the right direction. Does the evil God creature forgive you for that and go, you know what? It was cloudy that day. Surely you could.
NBD.
You know, I mean, I'm just curious.
I
This
think
isn't
so.
really just Islam. This is any specific belief that
I mean, they all
requires
have their very specific things that you have to do in this very particular way. I mean, Judaism is filled with different rules and regulations, and actually, like, it's kind of interesting how a lot of the rules and regulations, they spend their time trying to figure out how to get around the rules and regulations.
Yeah. Well, you know, we
And I'm
also
not
have,
like dissing it. I just think that's kind of cool. Like, where I can't talk to you today on the internet because that's the rule. But if I ask my husband to dial in, now I can talk to you because I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's silly kind of little weird stuff.
they do have their get arounds.
Get around.
Yeah,
You
have
gotta
their
get around.
non-believers bring them stuff or whatever on the day. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
weird
Flip
things.
the switch.
Yes. Did you know Dave Murphy was in the chat? Sneaky.
Indeed.
I don't know. Hello, Dave Murphy. Thank you for joining us. yeah, that's one of the things as we've discussed. Now, if you don't know, in case you don't know, the God of Islam and the God of Christianity and the God of Judaism are all the same creature. Just saying, point in fact. I just want to point that out before I go further. Now, and this, as I go further, I want just to point out that whether you believe in Jesus or Muhammad, it doesn't kind of matter. Both of those are just doormen to heaven. They're not God, unless you're one of those Christians that think Jesus is God, but they're not God. They're just doormen to allow you into heaven or deny you access to heaven, either by themselves to open the door, such as in Jesus, or merely giving you divine knowledge, such as in Muhammad. Either way, neither one of them are God. All they are the doorkeepers. The God that these creatures, that these people worship, the God that these people worship can be found in the Old Testament of the Bible. And we can talk about that all day. That is a hideous monster. And the very fact that the notion that, oh no, God is not like that. God is love, God is peace. God is love, is a Christian, God is peace, is a Islam. But what happens if I don't believe in your God? Let's just start with that. I don't even have to blaspheme or be bad. Just start and end with, what if I don't believe? What is your God going to do to me? And we can just end right there, point in fact. Your argument of your God is peaceful and merciful is gone. What happens? All I have to do is not believe. I think we had a super chat. Did you see a super chat? Would you like to read the super chat?
I did. Left-handed Jedi for $5 says, how would religion and hypersleep work on a generation? Oh, that's a good question. Generation sleep. How would you reconcile all that time asleep and not praying?
Yeah. God would be angry. Again, we can go throughout the Testament and we can look through the Old Testament and see how God is not, I'm going to put like not, here's like a not symbol, not a forgiving creature, right? See, even she agrees. God is not a forgiving creature. It has, I don't think anywhere, especially in the Old Testament, does it display any form of forgiveness unless you repent. And even then it's still pissed off at you.
I think there was like one time he forgave, was it David or something? There's one of the kings he forgave, but then he was like, okay, but I'm going to punish your kids. So like, you're cool, but like your kids are fucked. So like, is that worth forgiving? I would rather you just take me and hate me and not like take it out on my kids.
Well, are you forgiven then? Oh, he said he wasn't going to hurt you, but going after your children is one of the ultimate hurts. Yeah, not only did he go after your kids and hurt them, but he left you alone so you could live a long life and feel that suffering and pain. What kind of God is that? Right? Ooh. I mean, oh yeah, sure. He forgave you, but then went after your kids, and that's just
everything that made your life matter. Like if you take everything from me that gives my life meaning, I don't want that life anymore. They're all I'm living for, really. It's my kidsies.
Right. Very true. So, yeah. And then a notion, again, it's not even like it ended him, and his kids. No. It was just him, just the kids, just made them suffer. So he would suffer and suffer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like you see in the movies when the bad guy comes and they know that you, the captive, aren't going to give them the information that they need. So they're like, but your friend, I know that you care about your friend, so I'm going to murk them.
That's right.
No, I'll tell you what you want to know.
They do it in movies so often, don't they? That's such a...
Yes. You know it's going to happen. Like,
yeah.
Okay, who's going to get it?
I know. And you got to know, Miss Ryan, if you, gentle and meek as you are ever put in a situation where you really need to get information out of somebody, all you have to do is physically threaten the life of their friend or their loved one, or, you've learned this from television.
Yeah. Oh God. If I ever need to take a captive, I know what I need to do.
Well, there is that. That's true. That's true. Well, the whole Bible goes a whole different, the whole Bible gets it even deeper. It's like, nah, you can take them captive, keep them as sex slaves, trade them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Them within the inch of their life. God damn.
right?
He's still
You know,
loving.
here's the deal. This is interesting. Tawhid says, God says in Quran, wherever you face, you will find God. All directions belong to him, and be it north, south, east, face. That was kind of my thinking. I mean, no matter where you look, if you're looking on a ball, eventually it's going to go and hit it sooner or later. But then the whole deal is, if God said that, why do so many followers make such a fuss about being allowed or praying in the right direction? Why was it a thing on the International Space Station that they had to figure out which way to pray if it's not really that big a deal?
Maybe it's like,
Apparently, it was a big enough deal that they addressed it on the International Space Station. I'm just
I
saying.
wonder
you
if it's
know?
one of those things where, like, you know, the kid in school who just had to follow the rules. It was like, okay, the teacher walked out of the room and they're like, study your book for 5 minutes. And some of the kids start listening to music. And that kid's like, well, I'm better than everybody here because I'm going to follow the rules. Like, maybe that's what this religious thing is all about. Like, let me show people how much better I'm going to be than you because I'm out here doing this cool thing and I'm still going to figure out which way I need to face. Like, I'm not going to break any rules because I'm just so loving of God.
And you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. Let me tell you. God is going to be sitting there going about his day, right? Murder, torture, sending souls down to hell. And all of a sudden, oh, shit, look. Ahmed Bob over there is praying in the right direction. And he decided to do it properly. Oh, my goodness. Blessings are going to be upon you. Let me get back to my murder, death, kill, right? Really? And that's the whole thing I think about whenever you see a Christian come in the chat and they've got their name like his messenger or God's prophet or God's chosen. I'm like, really? You think God just sort of went, oh, shit, look how special that ignorant motherfucker is.
He did, Chris.
Right?
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. And that's exactly what he did because you named yourself like his thing. You're like, oh, well, he must really worship me.
Yes, my name is a theophoric name that means God puts it in your ass.
Yeah. What was it? His messenger reveals. You're claiming to be like a prophet of the God, right? Is that you're a messenger and you're revealing? Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, maybe.
Because God loves you. God shut down. He's like, oh shit, shut everything down, boys. Look, there's whoever.
Special.
Yeah. Well, I said Ahmed Bob because I kind of wanted to spread it out from both Islam and Judaism, or Christianity and Islam, you know, because we got both of those in the chat. I just want to spread the love. That's all.
I mean, honestly, I'm just not a huge fan of Abrahamic religions. I'm fine, you know, again, I'm fine. I'm fine with whatever you want to be. I just don't want it on me. I just don't want it for me.
Yeah. I dig it. Did you know BigZebra.com was here? Big Zebra.
Big Zebra. Good to see you.
Big Zebra was here. Good morning, Big Zebra. And
What?
As if on cue, right? As if on cue. Hello, Daniel 7:13 through 14, Messiah. How are you doing today? And God is like, oh my God, did you see that? Bob over there named himself after a chapter in my book. He is so special. Is that what they really think? They're like, God will give me attention. He'll shift his focus to me. Yes. Do you feel special, Daniel? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, isn't that interesting? I'm just curious, Daniel. It may just be a mock account. We're all giving him shit again.
Yeah, I have seen that too, where like people have like the funniest Jesus name or something like that. They're just trolling people.
Yeah, that does happen. So let me do this for fun. Normally I don't. It does look, the little icon looks familiar. Let me just do something here. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is that Paddington?
Yeah,
that's
what it does appear.
Bear.
I do believe. So let me see. Daniel 7:13 through 14 describes a prophetic vision where one like a son of man comes with the clouds of heaven to the ancient days of God and presents before him, receiving everlasting dominion. Really fascinating. That's fascinating and boring AF. That's what you wrote right on. In my vision at night, I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man. Okay, are we talking like one like a son of man? This is one of those cases where I wish Dr. Kip were here and he could say, we could go, what do they mean by like a son of man? Do they mean
Actually,
like,
I wouldn't be surprised if Jason and I talked about this last night. I wouldn't be surprised if Jason knows the answer to that. I think it's just a freaking title. Just like the light bearer and Jesus is called Lucifer and Satan's. It's just, I think it's just a fucking.
Oh, I dig that. Totally. And I'm with you on that. What I'm talking about is the word before.
Oh, my bad.
I'm talking about like. What are they saying when they say,
like,
so is he like similar to, or is it him? Because if it says it's like the Son of Man, then it's not the Son of Man. So if you're using that scripture to claim that Jesus is God,
Daniel?
It's a Daniel 7:13-14. If you're using that to claim that Jesus is the Son of Man, that's not what the wording says. It says one like.
Is that Aramaic? I'm assuming Daniel's written in Aramaic.
Maybe. I don't know. That's Jesus, like the Son of Man, but he actually is divine. Says, see, that's the whole deal. Like, that's the key word, like.
Like.
Yeah, well, it's not like is the Son of Man. Not like is the embodiment. Yeah, no, it's like similar to one of many like, maybe not one of many, but it's not the one. It's just sort of reflective of the one. Hell's Bells is here. Did I miss anything? Is Christianity dead yet? No, not yet. Not yet, not soon enough. Let's see. If I remember correctly, Son of Man means some guy. You know, it's just
some guy.
Here, I want to just kind of point out why be so vague? Why say the Son of Man? Why say any of that business? Why not just say, when I looked at night, there before me was God, or was Jesus, or was very plainly whatever I'm supposed to say. It is not some ambiguous nonsense that somebody could come along and just interpret this way or interpret that way. Why wasn't it specific? And now we've got times where anytime somebody says Son of Man, everybody's like, oh my, Son of Man, that means this, and runs flipping back through pages. Or one time Jesus says, I am the light. So now people are flipping through the Old Testament going, everywhere the word light is, that must mean Jesus. I just feel like if it was a God creature that created everything and wanted to express itself to its people, to the people that it created, it would have done so plainly.
And I find that confusing, to be honest. Well, I'm looking at the Hebrew, which obviously wasn't written in Hebrew, but this is probably like the Masoretes, their transcription of it into Hebrew. But that's what I don't understand, because it says Shemaiah, which is heavens, and then Kevar, which is sun. So it doesn't say like, it doesn't have some of these.
That word's not there at all. Yeah, it's just an interpretation.
So is that something they're putting into it, or is that? I hate this stuff. I love it. I hate it.
Well, here's the deal though. Daniel 7:13-14 Messiah says he is actually the Son of God, but looks like a Son of Man. Does it say that specifically? Does it say in there specifically he's the Son of God? And what does the Son of God mean? Would we not all be children of God? Are we not all children of God? If we are children of God, how or why doesn't it be more specific? This is the favorite son. This is the Jesus, whatever. Why be so vague?
You're so vague. You're so vague. Yeah. Why do it?
Be specific. Don't be ambiguous. Don't be vague. Give us what we need to know. Don't make people wonder. And then, of course, you've got somebody with a strong personality, but who's an idiot, who gets that Bible. They've got that strong personality. They read those words, and they're an idiot, and they misinterpret it because it's so easy to misinterpret. And before long, they're out preaching that word, telling other people. Because it's so ambiguous. They can interpret it any way. Voice of American culture is here. What were you saying, Brian?
No, they just make it into they form it into whatever they wanted to mean. I mean, it's pliable. So they can just add words if they want to. There's how many translations where they've added a teeny little word that's changed the entirety of the thing. Like in John, the Jehovah's Witnesses changed one of the words so that way Jesus wasn't, because John kind of makes it sound like Jesus was with God, you know, in the creation, and also a deity, like also God. So they changed that word so it doesn't sound like Jesus is a deity alongside God. The tiniest little thing,
Yeah.
because it hurts their brain because it goes against their theology.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's an entire school of thought. There's a division within Christianity, literally, about whether or not Jesus is God, or if Jesus is the Son of God, or if Jesus, and now we've got our friend here, Daniel says, yes, riding clouds, like the verse says, is a godly characteristic. All right, that riding clouds is a godly characteristic, but wasn't one of them Isaiah? Didn't he go up in the heavens into clouds, riding a cloud or some business? You know, just because you ride a cloud doesn't make you a god. Just because somebody claims you rode a cloud. Now, here's the really icky part, though. Can you prove that? You said 70 times in the Bible it describes that. Really? I don't think you can prove that. I don't think you could back up any time in the Bible where it specifically says Jesus is God.
Oh,
I could be wrong. I like being wrong.
well, Daniel, I have a question for you, Daniel. If you think that God rides a cloud and that's something unique to him, why is it that he, or I should say, the Yahwist borrowed, adapted, expanded upon Baal Hadad, who is the rider of the clouds? Why is he using the same terms? Why is he expressing the same supernatural, like the thunder, the lightning? Like, why is he doing basically all the same things that the storm god Baal Hadad is doing? Kind of weird.
Why would, if you were, again, as we talked about earlier, the creator of the entire universe, why is that the form in which you choose to appear? Didn't that
Riding on
weird?
a cloud?
Yeah, riding a cloud. That seems like one of the most useless ways it could try to express itself, riding a cloud. And then it writes a book in an ancient language that we're all supposed to believe, using vague terms. I just don't think this is going right. And earlier we talked about how big the universe is and grand and wonderful it is. And now God's riding clouds. He's gotten pretty small all of a sudden.
Yeah. You know, and I just don't think that a few thousand words could express the beauty. I mean, sure, it did, you know, a few thousand words did express the beauty of life in this world for people. But I kind of feel like we've grown beyond that now. I think we've adapted. Even the earth is adapted to us. It's kind of silly that we stick with a couple thousand words to express ourselves. Like, why would you want to do that?
And even still, when you actually, now that's part of the deal. The couple thousand words that are beautiful to express ourselves are all wrapped. That's just the whole deal. That's the wrapping. What's inside those words is the horror of that is the Bible. If we're talking about the Bible, you know, everybody says it's love and it's benevolent, it's a good book, it's the good book. But man, when you crack that sucker open, that God creature does nothing good by our standards. Everything it says is good, obviously is good, because it's the one that gives out the moral standards of what is good is good, is what is bad is bad. So killing the old men at the temple is good. Lot having sex with his daughters is good.
Sacrificing your daughter, like Jephthah did, is good.
It's good. Selling your daughter. It was a promise. 30. It was a promise fulfilled, by the way. And they're like, God didn't do that. Well, you know what God did do? God did let Jephthah win. He could have killed Jephthah.
Yep.
During the battle and still helped his people, allowed his people to get out from under the oppression they were under. But no, he allowed Jephthah to win. He allowed Jephthah to live. He let everything go back. God could have, because God is God, could have had a goat be the first thing to come out of the house.
Yeah, why did he let the girl come out first?
Right. Some people on the Christian variety like to claim that, you know, Jephthah thought that that's what was going to, because they interpret what Jephthah thought. Really, you know what Jephthah thought. It doesn't say what Jephthah. But anyway, that was the whole thing. He thought surely it wouldn't be a family member. It'll be an animal. And but
sounds like a guy thing to think. Sorry,
it does really. And then that God would let the daughter come out, and then that God would let them go through with it.
Right. Like he could have done an Abraham-y. He could have pulled a little
He could've
AB.
said, "Oh,
Like,
yeah, I'll do that."
psych, gotcha, psych,
Gotcha.
but I see that you're
Mhm.
down the clown, so we're good. But he was
Right.
like, yeah, you know
He
what?
didn't. And
I
you
think
know
I
what?
want to see this girl murked.
Here's the beauty of it. This God creature even gave them a month. It was like after a month after they got back or so, the girl had to think about it before they stuck her up on a pyre.
Yeah, she
and
went
burned her.
and celebrated her virginity because she
Or
was
some
never going to
business, yeah.
lose it. Yeah, so she had to live out her last days in a couple of days.
Gave her a month,
basically.
and then he offered her up. You know, really, at any point that in that chain, it could have stopped, and yet
Yeah.
it did not. All right, we're going to take a break. Maybe whenever we come back, we'll talk about other fun things like how Jesus wasn't a sacrifice. Because I like it when we get Christians in the chat. They're like, "Oh, Jesus was sacrificed." I'm like, "No, he wasn't." We'll be back though. We'll talk about that sort of thing. Let's go with. Oh, I want to go with this one. You have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love. I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston, minus the humidity. Hello. My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that. Carl say, oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is? It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No! Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved. Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I can see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better, and that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. All right, we are back. Thank you for being here. Tawhid says, using our critical thinking, we can all get to the truth. And I think that's kind of interesting. For the first question I want to ask for you before we go any further, Tawhid, is, and I don't mean anything by this, it's just plain, are you in a safe place? What I mean by that is if we here on the show were to manage to convince you to leave Islam and become an apostate, would you be safe? Or would you be in danger? Would you, before I go on, because I got questions that I may ask you that might be hard to reconcile for you. I just kind of want to know before we go any further if I should actually continue or if it would be unsafe for you if I actually showed you the light and you left your faith. That's a legitimate question, don't you think, Miss Ryan? I think so. Just in
Ask
case.
it again.
Yeah, is he in a safe place? If he becomes an apostate, is he in like Detroit where nobody will give a shit, or is he over in Mecca? What's going to happen?
I mean, let's be honest.
Okay.
Sadly, there are people who are religious who feel that is the only way to be. And regardless if you're a father, if you're a sister, it does not matter who you are. If you stop participating in that religion, you are no longer a friend, a family, like you're donezo, like they cut you off. And I've experienced it. So that's not like a joke. It literally happens to people every day.
No, go ahead.
They get found out that they lost their faith, and people just disconnect from them.
Yeah. And you're right. Now I want to, so you say you'd absolutely be safe. Now I want to point something out here, my friend. Check this out with me. You said, let's let reason, if you use reason, I lost the page. If you use reason, we can reason our way into this. If you use good logic, you can use good logic. And then I asked you if you were safe. Why would I ask you if you were safe if your religion was of peace? Let's not go there, though. Let's not go there. That's not really where I wanted to go. Where I wanted to go was to indeed find out if you were in a safe place, because there are places that are not safe for apostates. Our friend responded with, let me find it here. It moves. Oh, come on. Don't have deleted it. Oh, using our critical thinking, we can all get to the truth is what Tawhid said. Now let's move on here. Tawhid said, man, I think it got deleted on me.
Uh-oh.
Or my page isn't going up far enough. Let me see if I can find it over here. I asked if Tawhid was safe, and Tawhid said yes, because Chris, I would be absolutely safe. I am not living in a Sharia abiding country. I want you to think about that with me, Tawhid. If you were living in a Sharia controlled country, which is controlled essentially by the laws of your faith, you would not be safe. And you just acknowledged that. Isn't that's so let's use our higher reasoning. Let's use that thinking we were talking about. Use our critical thinking. It tells me that, I mean, just that alone should we just reflect on their faith, you know? I think right now, Tawhid, I'm going to leave you with that. I don't know if you understand what just happened. I hope you understand what just happened, and I hope you're really in a safe place. Because whenever you figure this out, and all these lies that you've been fed all your life come unwound, and you finally sit up there and you go, holy shit, this is all bullshit. Are you really safe? Just remember that. Because it's a legitimate question. Kelly is here. Good morning, Kelly Laughlin. Thank you for joining us. Kelly's running late, slacker. Very much a slacker. Flockmeister. That would be Chick Magnate. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, John Hudson. Beam me up, Bob. Apologists think or pretend they think that they are using sound logic. Very true. Oftentimes what they'll do is they'll use words and then later call it logic. Just random words. They'll just say things and say, I'm right because it's logical, because it makes sense. Just like Tawhid earlier is like, hey, if you use proper logic, Jesus and God could be the same person. Use your clear thinking. Coming from him concerning that topic really doesn't seem like a legitimate way to go. It's not a bridge I would cross, because it would probably collapse. Sorry, damp lung. Resist Depression is here. Very cool. Thank you for being here.
Keep resisting.
General idolatry, Book of Judges, the content on Mount Carmel, 1 Kings 18, Gideon, I'm not sure what things you're going. Oh, places that are 20 other places and people named Baal.
Well,
This has to do with Baal. Yeah, read.
my Baal.
Yeah, Baal.
My Baal.
As in bocce.
My bocce balls. That's a fun game.
That's the Stargate quote from first time Jack met Baal.
Oh,
Kelly
that's
Lawson
right.
yeah.
I forgot.
I am Baal, as in bocce.
Bocce? Yeah.
The apologists think, or that they do oftentimes. That's one of the things I talk about it on the show all the time. Hello and good morning. Thank you for joining us. About how, like the Bible, they say it's the good book, but there's not a lot of good in there. And I mean, there's a lot of bad, but not a lot of good in there, you know, but they go around saying it's good. They claim it's the word of a good, holy creature so loudly and so often that everybody kind of believes it, and they give it reverence, even if they don't believe it. You revere and give them reverence for their delusion, whether you know it or not. Some people are just fucking assholes, but almost everybody kind of gives a certain reverence whenever you see a priest walk in. Why? He's just a guy. He's just like the biggest follower in the group of Peter Pan. He's read Peter Pan, the book, and now he's just the biggest follower, and he's going to tell you how to interpret what Peter Pan thought. And how is he more relevant than the guy out there holding pencils and selling them for $0.25 a cup or $0.25 a pencil, you know? I'm just saying. God is dead. Yes, I think what I want to do is, let me do this. God is dead. We are just dealing with the bloated corpse now. Good point, Sapien Cephalopod. Thank you for joining us this morning. If Jesus is not God, oh my goodness. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, so Daniel, it appears, based on this statement, is one of those who believes that Jesus is God. So if Jesus is God, we have questions. All right, so let's see. Daniel said, I hope Daniel didn't do. If Jesus is not God, he still qualifies as a hero, and as atheists, I can defend good causes. No, I don't think so. First of all, Jesus is not God. I mean, if he is God, then Jesus did all the horrific things in the Old Testament. Because he's God. That means Jesus drowned all the children. Jesus killed all of Lot's children, or Jesus did a lot of horrific things in the Bible. But let's just say Jesus is not God. You know what Jesus brought us? Jesus brought us hell. We didn't have hell before Jesus, right?
Why did
It
that?
was very, very loose. I mean, before Jesus, people just died. They were just gone. You're done. That's why one of the rewards from God was a long life, because there was nothing afterlife, right? There was no afterlife. So yeah, Jesus is nice, meek, and mild, but with Jesus came hell. And so that's something maybe you should chew on. Don't believe me? Go look it up for yourself. Ask like any chat. Because chat has answers to reason, don't ask my chat. My chat's going to tell you fucking right. I mean, blah, 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 because I program this shit. It's just crazy like I am.
You know,
Ask
something I
your own
learned
chat.
last night, Chris, that
What's
was
that?
pretty interesting that I know some, but anyway, what I learned from Jason is that a lot of the hell ideas comes from Enoch.
Enoch?
I didn't even
Fucking
realize
Enoch.
that.
What the hell was Enoch doing?
Enoch, you bastard. And this is extra biblical literature. So the problem with the Bible, the canon, is that, like, again, you can create practically any character you want, but realistically, you really shouldn't, because the extra biblical literature should also be included. So Jesus should be married. Jesus should have brothers. Like, you should be able to craft any kind of character you want, because even the extra biblical text say some of this stuff. You just don't know who this. They try to pretend like they know who this guy was, but it's phony. It's fake.
Right. And they do. They make it up all the time.
They do. They really do.
Tawhid says, Chris, death to apostate is controversial among scholars. Really? It's controversial.
What is?
Interesting. Let me. Death to apostates is controversial among scholars. Let me continue. Prophet Muhammad only ordered the death of. Stop. Period.
Wow.
Prophet Muhammad ordered the death of. Stop. Period. God could not convince these other people. He had to have his prophet order the death of people. God's prophet ordered the death of people. That's bad enough. When you realize that the Hadith tells us that God's prophet personally beheaded between 600 and 900 captive, helpless people, warriors or not. God couldn't have done anything. Your God creature couldn't have done anything. He couldn't have snapped his fingers and unhardened their hearts towards Muhammad. He couldn't have done that. No, it was actually tell his prophet to order the death. And now let's just accept what you say. He ordered his prophet commanded his prophet to order only the death of hypocrites who would not accept Islam in the morning and leave it in the evening. Really? Believe in my God or you're going to die. You say that like it's a good thing, but you're not hearing what you're saying. You keep defending your prophet in the most horrific of ways, and you just don't seem to know it.
Sorry.
It's weird how you're doing this. And maybe it's just because the position is so indefensible that I'm just saying. The fact that it would, we've talked about that before on the show. I saw somebody else on the TikToks, I think, talking about why did your God have to drown all the people? Why did he just snap them out of existence? And that's one of the things. Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about that on the show many a time. Yeah.
The making it painful and drawn out and torturous. It's just so extra.
Intentional.
It's intention. You're dealing with humans that you've created that you know their limitations of, and you have none, but yet that's like me finding pleasure in torturing an animal. Like we call them psychopaths. Don't we call them psychopaths or psychopath? Yeah. So I feel like you'd have to be psychopathic to harm somebody who's vulnerable, who can't defend themselves against you. Like Israel killing Palestinians, like that's psychopathic. They don't have the defense that you have. It's weird. Like why do you stand up for brutality and bullying? Like why is God the biggest bully there is? And why do people want to, emulate him?
Right. Here's another one. I appreciate you. Tawheed says, Chris, those hypocrites were creating confusion. Why would someone accept Islam in the morning and leave it in the evening? They were troublemakers. And maybe you didn't see my message before you typed all that. But again, why would this God creature need to do that? His message was not convincing enough that he had to kill these people. These people here, that's one of the things that we've talked about here on the show. You're going to force me to convert to Islam. Okay, all right, fine. Don't kill me. I'll convert to Islam. Okay, fine. All right, fine. Now I'm sitting here praying. But now, the God creature knows whether in your heart you believe or not. So it's going to hurt you either way. Those people who accept Islam in the morning and leave it in the evening probably don't have any choice. They don't really accept it. They're just under pain of death. If they don't accept it, they're going to die.
But does God
so they
care
pretend to accept it?
That it's fake? Like is God okay with, Ryan doesn't like me, but she's pretending, and I just need that facade. So is he going to be okay with it?
Right. The answer is no. And the reason why I say that is because at this particular point, he's already expressed that the answer is no, and he's commanded his prophet to kill them. At that point, they've already answered that question, and the answer was no. And now he's like, time to go kill them because they're right. Still, do they have a choice?
Well, there's another problem too. Like, you know how the Ori, they'll just take a whole planet out if they feel like there's not enough people who believe. The problem is Yahweh does similar things. So let's just say he's going by locale, city or whatever. He's just going city by city, storming it up and murking people. if I'm in a school, but I'm a non-believer, but he needs to get to me, is he going to go through all them kids to get to me? Probably. So
Right.
even if you are a believer, it doesn't necessarily mean you ain't going to get it.
It doesn't. That's right. And here's another thing. Al Wise, thank you for joining this morning. It says God is Jeffrey from the Game of Thrones. That's great. Now, once again, our friend Taqweed has contradicted himself. Taqweed says, Chris, God says in the Holy Quran, there is no compulsion in religion. So it is clear we cannot force anyone to accept Islam. What was your very last message? If people don't accept Islam, they die. They're compulsed. Right there in your very previous thing. Those hypocrites were creating, why would someone accept Islam in the morning? Again, right? And what happens if they don't accept it? They die. They die. Look what happens to these people. They die. And the fact that you keep coming around, I mean, it's just not good for you. It's just not a good way. There is compulsion. Clearly, Islam is compulsion.
I think there's a lot of fear.
It actually, Islam, they say it means peace, but it actually means submission.
They all do. Isn't that what all Abrahamic religions are?
Oh, yeah. I'm just talking about literally the word Islam means.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't?
Yes, submission.
Oh.
Yeah. They claim it means peace, but technically it really actually means submission.
Oh, okay. So it does mean peace, but I get what you're saying.
And there's also the whole deal about Islam does call for peace. Islam is the religion of peace. It seeks peace, and it seeks peace by forcing everyone to be Islamic. And if they're not Islamic, they need to die. There's not a lot of wiggle room there. There's where they have words for people who don't believe. Those people have to pay a tax. What's it called? They're called, oh, I can't remember it now. Anyway, there's a whole lot about Islam that is not right. You know what? Let's take a break. Praying 5 times a day is a compulsion. Godwin, thank you for joining us. One of the things I mentioned earlier, there are all these rules. Pray how many times a day? Pray which direction? Oh my goodness, what happens if you don't do that? Oh, nothing. It's just a suggestion. Really, God doesn't make suggestions. Let's refer to Moses. I love the story of Moses. Was it Moses or Abraham? It's Moses, where God told him, go ask the rock which way to go. And instead of asking the rock, Moses hit the rock with a stick. The rock broke open and told him where to go, and he went to go. He still got them there. He continued to sacrifice his entire life to get the people that he was leading to the promised land. He never made it to the promised land, though. Years, decades later, despite loyal service to the God creature, because he broke the rock. So you get this notion that you're going to pray the wrong way, and it's not going to forgive you for that, or it's going to forgive you that. You think you're going to not pray enough per day, and it's going to forgive you for that. You think that you're going to not really believe and just say these things in prayer and not really mean them, and God's going to forgive you for that. I don't think you know your God creature very well. Let's take a break. Should we do the Holy Halos, or should we do the Wild Bill 2? I think maybe Wild Bill 2. What should we do to our people? Let's do Holy Halos. Yes, we'll do that. Godless Scummer is here. Good morning, Godless Scummer. Thank you for joining us. All right, so Godwin, Taqweed says, Godwin, 5 times prayer a day keeps you on the right path and keeps reminding you about God. And what?
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, when this God creature comes back and loves everybody and uses reason and logic to let everybody live in peace. No, he comes back and slaughters everybody. That's your God creature. What the hell's wrong with you people? Hello, and welcome to Shakespeare with a Redneck. Finally, I am Wild Bill Wigglestick, and this is my trusty sidekick, Willie the Kid. And we'll be your handsome hosts, your gilded guide, your cowboys, concierges to Shakespeare. Oh, how cute. Wait, is that at 2, Ollie? Run along, little doggy. Bill, where the hell have you been? Well, you know, I've been roaming the earth, going back and forth upon it, to and fro and whatnot. I like to travel too. Wait a second. Yep, back and forth upon earth, doing unto others before they do unto me. Bill, are you quoting the Bible? Trying to quote the Bible? Indeed I am. Despite my appearance, I am a man of culture, and know many things, not just Shakespeare. Really? So you have a Shakespeare monologue related to atheism or skepticism? Indeed, I do. Bear witness. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the product of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence. And all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of whore master man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. I should have been that I am, had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Wow, that really is spot on about what we cover here on the channel, about how, people. So here's a quick rundown of the situation. Bill, this non-believer, ignores the teachings of his learned father and ends up getting 4 people killed. Bill, that's not... Okay. Carry on. Shakespeare was a heathenistic non-believer bound for the fiery pits of hell, just like yourselves. I don't think. And in order to throw the murderous church of the time off his heathen trail, he writes the skeptic as a sneaking, lying, adulterated father and brother, hating and betraying villain who ends up getting his comeuppance in the end. Bill, oh, come on, man. You're always blah, blah, Bible stuff, blah, blah, boring. You got to spice things up. Bill, tacos are spicy. Everybody loves tacos. Bill, tacos and boobies. Okay, you're not wrong there either. Tasty and delicious culture, baby, coming at you. Avoid the storm of familial discontent. Blow winds and clap your cheeks by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that. Wait a second. Don't you mean crack your cheeks? Nope. Bill. Send safely, my friends. Take care.
Peace.
All right, and here we are. Godless Scummer says, just noticing how much Chris looks like the late Donald Sutherland, especially in the cowboy hat. Godless Scummer, I get that a lot. If they ever need someone to play Donald Sutherland's older self, I should be surely an easy cast. Let me just see here. Chemical Squirrel, I don't know. You can type at that symbol and the first 2 letters of someone's name and then just hit tab and it'll fill in the rest of it for you. So you don't have to type in their whole name. I'm just saying, I noticed a comment where you said you didn't want to type in somebody's whole name. You don't have to most of the time. Could be on your mobile and maybe that doesn't apply to you. But
I know, and you know what? Mobile doesn't, and it's really frustrating and hard because now you got to type even more out on this little tiny. They should make it easier by just being able to either click the name and click reply. I mean, there's so many things they could do. Sorry, complaining.
And considering that half or more, I think almost 3/4 of the people who view my show do it on mobile. I know people who vote in my little polls say they don't, but the metrics say most people who watch the show do it on mobile. Yeah. So Chemical Squirrel confirms it doesn't work on my phone. That's right. There you go. Way to go. I did see somebody mentioning something. Who was it? Miss Non Sequitur. Are you related to Steve McRae? You're not related. Hi, Music by Brian.
Music.
It's been a while since we've heard from you. Hope you're doing great. Unless you're somebody, they just not showing me your name. But yeah, it's been a while. I remember the name. Hello, welcome back to the pits. Actually, let me look at this question. See, so far, 44 people have voted. The question is the push of Christian nationalism the first sign of that Christianity is dying? That's really oversimplification. We all know it. But anyway, the options are yes, it's a desperate move for lost power. 39% of the people believe that. 20% say yes, fear showing its traditional base is shrinking. 2% say no, it's a purification, a strong core remains.
Oh, purification. Oh, that's a strong word.
I know, 2%. It's a high number. And 39% say, no, it's a political movement, not a religious one. And then we have comments. Did the Crusades and the Inquisition stop it? No, it did not, Book in Chelsea. Axel Ignite, good morning. Says, on mobile, on one app, you can click and hold a person's name to highlight their name. That may be worth trying on the mobile app. Clicking and holding it and see if it'll let you highlight them that way. Je ne sais pas. Pardon me. Only so far as most old school Mormons are related, but not directly. I see. You know, Steve McCrae, I hadn't really heard his name in a while, and then he popped up again. I think not long back, maybe popped up in my consciousness sphere for a little while, and then he was gone again. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
He was, I guess, a kind of a nearly prominent atheist person, I guess. He's got more followers than I do.
Oh, for real?
And apparently he's a fucking asshole. He's just an asshole. Anytime I've ever seen him, he's just an asshole. Half of his shtick is being an asshole. He's almost certainly a right-winger, a MAGA. Sure, he's an atheist. Yeah, we agree on that. But, you know, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, you know, Steve, if you're watching, I'm not sorry. Prove me wrong, and then I'll be sorry. But yeah, the wife was just saying not long back, you know, one of the good things about the way I've been doing here in the communities, I've not been getting in anybody's business. Like there was the whole Durante and GE and all this other business going on and other people. It happens all the time in this community. What's his name? What the fuck was that guy's name?
Derek?
Derek? Yeah. Is it Derek? The one
From
who...
Vision?
Yes. Yeah. Him and Bob Price and all that business. Remember?
Yeah.
Whenever, yeah. So I am fortunate that I have not been involved in any of that business. But then I just called Steve McCrae a douchebag, and he's going to find out, and there's going to be some lightning. Come on, Steve. No, I don't give a shit.
I will like comment on things because I mean, if it's on social media, if it's on social media, I'm going to comment. That is my free will to do so, and that's usually as far as I go with it, and I'll give my opinion. But I used to like make videos about that, but I kind of stopped doing that because I felt like I was making it about me instead of the issue, you know. I mean, hey, but if something really needed to be said, I'd say it, but sometimes it gets a little sticky icky out there.
Yeah. Music by Brian says he used to be a reasonable person, but that went downhill very quickly. I have a vague remembrance of something like that. I remember the first time I came into the atheist sphere, I was like, hey, I want to get to know that guy because he's like somebody in the place. And I was watching this thing. I was like, oh, no, I don't want to get to know him. And I stopped. A Better Than Ever says, is Steve alive? Apparently so. There's so much hate tea. Yes, Better Than Ever. You know, matter of fact, I remember a little birdie coming to me one time and saying, you know, some people are talking shit about you and, you know, in the business. And that person never told me who it was. And I didn't I didn't really give a fuck so much. You know? Well, because I got this thinking, you know how I feel. I think there's the battle against Christianity needs every one of us, all of our methods, all of our techniques, all of our reasons, all of our ways. But to have one person with one reason and one way coming to my chat and going, you're doing it wrong, you should address Christians like this, will piss me off so fast. And yeah, so there's that. To my guessing, that's all it really was. And somebody just doesn't like my way. I don't know. I can't imagine though, really, because I'm not nearly as harsh as a great many of the Christian or the atheists on the, I'm no Matt Dillahunty, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's lots of, I mean, you've got the super duper duper passive atheists, and then you do have like the more aggressive atheists, but I mean, I see the gambit on YouTube. Well, I mean, actually, all social media. I see all kinds of atheism. So there ain't one way to atheist, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you got to, I guess in a way, you kind of have two ways, maybe, of thinking about it. You got those people on the far one way going, man, you need to be more aggressive because you're under attack. And then the ones on the far, not submissive, but passive side are kind of looking down their noses at those of us who are more aggressive. And oftentimes we end up eating ourselves. rather than focusing on the fact
I
that
try
we're
not
under
to
attack.
police people. Now, if you say something I don't agree with, I'll say my opinion just so people don't feel like I think that way. But that's not in any way necessarily a condemnation or even a condoning what people do. You know, I'm trying not to police. I'm trying to meet people where they are. It's not always easy. If I don't like it, I'm not going to watch it. You know, I'm just not going to watch it. I'm probably not going to make a ton of videos on it because if anything, I'll likely give you more press. Like that's how some of these douchebag atheists have even gotten to where they are, is because people like us wanted to make videos about them. It's like, oh, great, bring them into the limelight so the assholes can find them. Well done.
Right. Yeah. Miss Aaron says, to be fair, Matt Dillahunty is less angry than he was when she first started watching him. You know, and I get that. I'm just saying. I mean, what I'm trying to say, and I express myself poorly, is that I feel like I have gotten passion from the people who are more wanting us to be passive and more educational to the Christians. I feel like they have been like, you're a jerk. You're a jerk for being the way I am. When in reality, I'm not nearly as harsh as quite a few of the other atheists. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand why the passive people on the right are on our side. I mean, I don't see why the passive people in atheism think I'm too aggressive.
Well,
I don't get that.
Well, here's another thing. What's our purpose? What are we doing here? What am I doing here? What are you doing here? I'm trying to reach people. I'm going to reach a certain kind of people. You're going to reach a certain kind of people. Again, you might be the kind of person who gets the Christian who's angry and upset and frustrated with what you said because it bothers them. And then they'll actually come in and have a conversation, because a lot of times in my comment section, I don't even have the conversations. It's some of y'all who go in there and start schooling people. And I've watched people begin to question. A lot of times they'll just like, no, fuck you, you know, whatever. They'll just keep on that path of like, God, God, God. But there are some who I see like, I'm going to look more into that. So that could be like why that works. You're going to get a certain kind of Christian that's not going to give two F's about the stuff that I'm saying. So like, why do you care if it's not for you? If my commentary, if my ideas aren't for you, then there's really no need for you to judge me, as long as I'm doing what I feel my purpose here is.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of the thing. We're all on the same side. Don't fucking judge me for how I do what I do. If you don't like what I do, don't watch.
If you're being racist, I'm going to tell you, but
true enough.
I'm not saying you in general. Like, of course but other than that, I don't really care what anybody does. Other than that, just don't be a freaking racist scumbag.
You're right. And not that you were referring to that, but that's a good opportunity to refer to the whole Derek and what's his name, Bob Price thing, because that was a thing that was the community had an issue with. I didn't know what the hell. That was actually a learning thing for me. I didn't know what was going on. All I had seen was Derek's side of it and didn't know that there was a history and that Bob Price had said this and that he said that over and over again. It's one thing, you know, to go, oh shit, I was wrong. I'm of a generation where I'm wrong.
I'm wrong.
But I try to be willing. Yeah, I try to be willing to go, oh man, don't think that, you know, don't be that way. And Bob Price was not willing to be that way. He was not willing to change and update his ways and thinkings. And that Derek would support him, I just can't, you know. Anyway, onward and upward.
Derek's content is for a specific kind of, like I look in I see his comment section all the time. Not now because I don't follow him, but I used to. So I see the kind of people that follow him. So he reaches his audience. He used to reach me. I don't feel so much anymore, but that's okay. I'm not going to keep making videos about what Derek's doing. I don't care that. I just don't care.
And that's the whole thing. You know, I kind of disagree with Derek and whatever that was about the price.
So nice.
But then I just kind of went on. I don't sit around shitting on Derek. I don't care.
Yeah,
I just don't watch his stuff. You know, I mean,
Right.
I can't say I don't like Derek. What I can say is that what I've seen of him and his followers is that, you know how we say we're liberal left-wing nutbags, atheists of the variety? I feel, and I could be wrong, but I feel like Derek's more of the right-wing atheist kind of person. And I think that partly because one time, and this is not long back, like during the thing, he was talking about how he's more of a centrist. And I tell you, anytime you tell me you're a centrist in these times, yeah, it's not.
You might as well just say you're right, honey. Because if you're right on the fence, you're not on our side. You know?
So that's my feeling.
Pick up your weapon or put it down, either one.
Right. Wow, AJ is here. Good morning, AJ. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope everything's going great in your world. Chemical Squirrel, let's see here. John Hudson, Kelly Laughlin. Kelly, we'll have to get you back again next week. If you're available, if you want to come hang out with us, we'll see. I want to see, what do you think, Ryan? We'll just discuss this out in the open. What do you think about maybe getting Dr. Troy on again on a Friday? Not on a Friday though, because we do Sci-Fi Friday. Maybe
or you and him can do Sci-Fi Friday. You can.
I got to be able to talk on Sci-Fi Friday. And I love Dr. Troy, but he's one of those where he comes on the show, I'm not going to get to talk. He talks a lot. He's a talker. Dr. Troy, if you're watching, we actually had that conversation twice. I'm like, man, you got to let me talk. But that's okay. People get excited, and that's fantastic. I'm not against I'd actually like to have Dr. Troy here on a day where I could just kind of chill back. Because he would carry the show. That's one of the things. He'd carry the show. That's good. That's actually good. He ought to do his own live stream too. So there's that kind of thing too. I think maybe we'll check that out. That's a good idea. But I'd like to see, I like the idea of getting other people in the community back on the show on a regular, semi-regular basis as they want to. Yeah. Kelly seems to be willing to come on the show. No matter how bad we talk about him, no matter all the shit we give him, him and his 2 brain cells. What did you say?
I only got one. So if you have 2,
Kelly talks about rubbing his 2 brain cells together or something. He's got some kind of saying that I clearly just tore up. It sounded more like of an insult than I meant it to sound. Hive Size says, Chris is afraid to have you on the show. Why would I be afraid to have you on the show, Bree? I don't want to face you. I don't want to face you for what? Maybe I don't know what we're talking about.
I want to face you face to face.
There you go. Face to face.
Cheek to cheek. And I mean butts. Just kidding, guys. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Picture it didn't happen. We'll just have to record everything. That's all. Let's see here. Chemical Squirrel. I would love to chat with you guys, but I have 2 tiny gremlins that won't be quiet. Understood. You know what I've thought about doing? I really have been thinking about possibly taking calls on the show again. I keep tinkering that back and forth, Yeah,
you've mentioned.
Part of me wants to do it. Part of me doesn't want to do it. Part of me thinks that if I did it, the show would grow because they sure love that thing where and I have to say, I have more fun on the show. When I'm talking to the theists in the chat, I'm like, no, you're wrong, and you're this, and you're that, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
You do enjoy it.
Yeah, I do. I get a kick out of it. So if the difference is they'd be able to talk. One of the things that kind of sucks, and I agree with a lot of people on this, is that oftentimes you'll have an atheist, and I'm not going to call out any atheist calling out in show. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. The Christian will call in, they'll say a few things, and the atheist will be like, whoa, no, let me stop you right there. And the Christian hasn't even expressed their thought yet, and the atheist just stopped them, latched onto a word, and they'll never get past that one point. I've seen that happen so many times. All you atheists believe. Oh, wait. You mean all of us atheists believe what? You're going to knock all of us atheists, and now the whole show is about how that person said all of you atheists, and we never get to find out what he actually thought we believed. I see that happen so often whenever I watch those shows. Anybody else in the show of hands? Anybody else see that? They latch on it. And another thing is where an atheist on the show, he's the boss, he's controlling the show. The guy calls in, the atheist responds to the question. Now it's the time for the guy to respond, and the atheist won't let them respond. They'll start to say something. The atheist person on the show will be like, no, that's not it. And they'll interrupt them, and eventually they get to where they mute them. And now I don't like that. And I don't want to have to do that or be that on this show.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's one of the things that's really bothered me the most. when I first started 5 years ago, I was kind of afraid, some Christian's going to pin me in an argument or something and I'll lose or something. No, I don't give a shit about that at all. I got the high ground in all these. I don't give a shit.
It's not going to happen.
It's about,
Sorry.
no, it's about, who's going to talk now? Who's not going to talk? Am I going to be a jerk? Are they going to be a jerk? And just the way I've seen it go down on other shows, I don't know. But then again, other shows have got hundreds and hundreds of viewers for every show and they make thousands of dollars a month. And we don't. So maybe I should do that. But that's just not a me thing too. That's a thee thing as well. But I have to say you're pretty passionate and knowledgeable, and I don't think you'd have a problem with that. Have you been on some of these call-in shows where you debate or argue with them?
I've done it before. I mean, it's fun. It's fine. It's just different. It's just a completely different way of being an atheist on the internets. But I'm not opposed to it. I mean, you have a lot of options. You literally have the whole rest of the day. It wouldn't have to be a morning thing. It could be afternoon or a night or half of the show. Like a morning just normal, and then switch into a caller.
That's a good idea. We could just do our normal morning. What we could do is we could have our fun. We could have maybe some news, and then at the top of the hour, open the lines, and we could start taking calls after the top of the hour commercial and take a call or two. All right, so I may think about that and consider that if you're open to it.
Yeah, I'd be open to it.
Now there'd be the logistics of it, and that would be how does that happen? Yeah, how's that happen?
That's going to be the fun part. Like, would you literally do call in, or would you do like where somebody joins, the stream?
No, it'd be call in. It'd be like
call in.
Yeah. If we're gonna do that, let's do it real. Now, of course, at first it would be a situation where, part of the reason is because I don't like the whole panel look. I do not dig that at all. Where a bunch of people pop in. There's Bob sitting on his counter.
They have it so you're literally the whole screen, but there's just like boxes, like a box represents the person, which I don't think is too bad, because then they're not like, what's his face does it.
Yeah. Well, I want a real call-in show where they're on their phones and they're calling in, but that's kind of,
Justin, sorry, it was coming to...
I've seen them on Justin's. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, yes. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And we could also be to where it could be either or once we get the tech built up. I'm not against it. Really, I am against having them pop in like our show, like in what do we call it?
Yeah, like they're actually appearing on the show.
Right. However, I wouldn't be against right now if I nerded it to where they'd pop up in a box, like up at the center of the top of our thing, like a little square above us. I could do that because I dig that idea. That's a good idea, Ryan. I can see doing that. Now there are also. I think the first step we'd take, and I'm just involving our people in here, the first step we'd take was probably be getting people to call in via Discord, like we did before. Because we don't have to pay for a phone number. Everything's already set up. All we got to do is but unfortunately, the only thing is that they'd be limited to those people who have Discord.
Right.
I think, and we did that. That's how Tangelo called in the first time on the show. Oh. And I was like, I didn't know who he was and all that business. But it was Discord. We did it through Discord. Now, I could see maybe doing it via Discord only long enough to show it as a proof of concept that people will do it and people will watch, and it's fun that we want to continue doing it.
Try to do anything different.
Then I'll pay for a phone number and get a real phone line in it. Because then it's not only is it paying for a phone number, it's also changing my entire system up with a new audio software called Voice Meter Banana. I love it. It works. If you don't need it, you don't put it in because it's fucking hard, but it works. It's a lot. I ain't got no time for that shit. But if we were going to do calls, I'd have to do it and I'd be willing to do it.
Yeah. That makes sense. See if it even works. See if we even enjoy it. See if people even call in, and then maybe it's worth putting some thought or effort into it. Beyond this.
You're right. And part of the deal is that almost certainly would still need a producer, someone who's willing to sit there during the show and filter the calls and just kind of make sure shit happens. Matter of fact, the producer would probably almost certainly be the person who would need to put the software on their computer so they could navigate the audio.
Yeah. So they need a computer that can do all that.
Yeah, I don't know how to do all that shit. And Yeah. I would be, of course, you know how it is. I'd be willing to split the super chats and the memberships and all that with the person who's willing to do that on the regular. Anyway, so that's that's out there. And I think that would really, if our show ever got going, that'd probably be the way it's going to go. You know, we've vacillated between 40 and 60, sometimes 70, sometimes 30, you know. But if we're going to make it really
day
good,
and the time, yeah.
And the topic, not everybody digs Sci-Fi Friday. You know, Sci-Fi Friday can get skinny around here.
Indeed.
Like Kelly says, having more than 2 people on a call-in show is sort of like ganging up on the callers. Yeah, I don't really see why we wouldn't have more than 2 people on the call show. It'd just be us.
Yeah.
Just be us. And I can see it doing it on the semi-regular. Yeah. I mean, because I really do. I think it would be fun for all involved. You know, we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm going to put up mental effort to it. And I think my first step is I'm going to see if I can find somebody, bribe somebody to be the engineer, because that's going to be really the first step. Won't be able to do anything else until I get past that point. You know, I could probably do some of it myself whenever we did the thing before, but I still needed Scotty and everybody over in the Discord setting all that up and running that and making sure, you know, it was a lot of effort, you know, so I got to figure out if I can make it happen first. But if I can, I kind of think it'd be worth it. I think it would. Works for everybody else, and we're awesome.
All right.
And I cannot express how many times people have come in the chat and go, "What's the phone number? How do I call in?"
Oh, this is true. Yeah. This much is true. Yeah. I see that regularly. People saying, "How can I get on?" Or "Let me up." What's the link? Let me up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we've got plenty of people who have, like Kelly. Kelly mentions in the chat. Kelly can take a call. You know, if we ever, so if Kelly comes on the show and we've got Kelly on, he can engage with people too. So I'm just saying we've got all that. That's kind of cool. We'll just have to see how that goes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break because we just rattled on so much. And while I do that, you go get water. I'm going to read the chats because I was just so busy I didn't get to read the chat. What should we do this time? Let us go here. We're going to do the pup. 2 minutes. We'll be back.
Flanagan!
Yes, sir. Very disturbing, I know.
Fetch me Father Flanagan.
Your Highness.
You are in the presence of His Holiness, the Puppius Maximus, guardian of the sacred fire hydrant, defender of the holy tennis ball, and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poopsalop the Fifth.
Your popedom. I heard you have a bone to pick with me.
Condoms, Father Flanagan?
No, thank you. I've got plenty.
That's what I mean. Why are you selling condoms?
Oh, you mean our Pharaoh Sombrero line of condoms. Understood.
You know how we feel about those around here.
Well, they're not to be used by the Catholics, of course.
Not for Catholics?
No, they're part of our Sinner Gonna Sin lack of faith outreach program.
A sinner gonna what?
It's like getting the tithe, but from the heretics and the heathens and the atheists.
Oh, well, when you put it like that.
But, Your Highness, this will reflect very poorly on the church.
True. You know what this means, Flanagan?
Warning label. A warning label on the box. Not for Catholics in big letters.
Too subtle.
Instant purgatory if used by Catholics.
I like it. Divine branding.
Excellent, your popedom. Will there be anything else?
That will be all. You may leave.
So, all right, we are back. Let's see. I see one here that says Hell's Bells. I don't like content creators being smartasses or rude right off the bat. as a lot of callers aren't practiced at apologetics when they do the call-in shows, more flies with honey than, that's a good point. I kind of get that too. To start out that way, to make that your initial gambit puts me off. That being said, there have been times where people will come in and they will say the same argument that I've seen so many times, and it's a knee-jerk reaction for me to go, oh, blah, 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 blah. If you've watched the show often enough, you've probably, here she is, she's back. You've probably seen me go, you know what? I come off a little hard. Let me pull back, and I'll try to pull back myself, and I'll try to be cool. But sometimes we're so used to being attacked that we act in a reactive, defensive way. I kind of get that, I feel it on both sides. Sometimes I feel justified in tearing into somebody because clearly they're just here to be a jerk. But then how do you know sometimes? Sometimes you got to let them know. Kelly says, point out theological thinking instead of attacking the religion. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier. Kelly Laughlin knows I love me some Kelly. He's fantastic. One of the things is Kelly is saying, do it his way rather than a different way. And that's what we were talking about earlier on the show. Now, Kelly's very soft about it. He doesn't, do it that way or else. But Kelly's got like I feel like the way to do this is to remove their bad thinking. And I feel like Kelly's thinking is perfect. That's legitimate. It just stops when Kelly goes on and says, what does he say after that? Instead of, now, whenever he says instead of, he's telling you how to run your boat. Instead of attacking the religion, I'm going to attack the religion. I'm going to point out the ridiculousness of the book and this and this and this and this and this. And I agree with Kelly. My point is that both sides are needed. Both methods are needed. Yes, point out that. Also, point out. So I kind of feel, and it's just, of course, I don't disagree with Kelly. It's just those who come in and go, this is how you do it. And if you don't do it this way, then you're doing it wrong. That's kind of what pisses me off. Yeah, so Kelly is super for taking calls. Oh, yeah, Kelly's awesome. And Kelly's awesome about all of those things. One of the things I really enjoy about Kelly is watching him talk someone through logically their argument that's not very good. And they're like, he brings them around. I dig it because bad thinking really does need to be addressed. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got going on. Man, the chat's going off. Giles is here. Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah. Good morning, Giles. Theoretically is here. Theoretically noticed you spawned in, as you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Messiah, Catholic means universal. Yeah. Pale horse, tongue lick is a good ending. I missed that. Kelly. All right, so you guys are cool, and I'm cool with Kelly. I'm just saying that those are some of that's kind of how I feel about that situation. Whenever somebody's, instead of doing it the way you're doing it, that's kind of what gets me. What I'd like though is like the whole, we do it different ways. If I learn how you do it, I can be better at defending us against this hate faith that's attacking all of us, really, kind of. To see how my version is more aggressive against the religion itself. I got no time to be teaching people shit.
Teacher.
Some you've heard that say, you can't reason somebody out of something they weren't reasoned into. You absolutely can. Absolutely you can. They were not reasoned into religion as a youth. They were programmed and indoctrinated in all this business, and reason will get them out. Does anyone know when Jack Smith is supposed to be with Congress? I don't know, but I heard it's going to be fiery. It's going to be fun because apparently Jack Smith is, there's actually some shit going on today because they were forcing the Ghislaine Maxwell, the release of some files from her somewhere at some place.
Oh, for realsies?
Yeah. So some of that business is going on. Breaking news, it says. Judge grants DOJ request to unseal Ghislaine Maxwell records in sex trafficking case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that happened or is happening.
Interesting. Do you think they're trying to go more for her than they are for him, or
It just depends on whose side you're on, I guess, in this one. I don't really know. That part kind of confuses me. You know, who's pulling those records? Yeah.
yeah? I just I don't trust like that anymore when it comes to the government and the DOJ.
Why is the DOJ asking to release the files? That's the part that gets me, you know. So let me look over here. So that's kind of some of the shit that's going on today. Yeah. Do you remember that whole pipe bomb thing? There's this guy that's been arrested for being the pipe bomber.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Do you remember immediately after January 6th, a lot of people were showing that video around and they were just dead set convinced that was Marjorie Trader Green. Dead set convinced. Look how she walks and this and that and all this. You know, and normally I don't laugh at that sort of thing. I don't find those references funny or appropriate. But when they're coming from somebody from the right or to somebody on the right, it seems kind of appropriate because they're the ones who sling the mud. They should get it, you know?
Well, what took them so long to find this person? And why even go after this person? Well, like, wasn't this all kind of a January 6th type thing? Aren't they all for January 6th? Aren't they supporters of January 6th?
Yeah. It seems like now that they've got the person who tried to bomb those places or plant those pipe bombs, it seems like Trump would almost certainly pardon him, even if they get convicted of something, or pardon them beforehand so they can't be convicted. Why waste the government's money in convicting him and then pardon him? You know, it seems like Donald Trump goes around pardoning the worst of the worst. If it's a CEO who stole money from a kid's cancer thing, Donald Trump's right there to, you know, if it's a drug lord from another country who brought tons and tons of cocaine in our country, Donald Trump's right there ready to give him a pardon.
Cocaine.
Chris George is here to copy paste into our chat. I appreciate it.
You know, it was funny. I really wish I had the time to like clip up some of these things. What do you want to call it? Criminals in the White House say. The other day, Christy Noam said something at a news press conference or something about Donald Trump and all the cocaine he's blown out of the water. But I just wanted to cut it to like all the cocaine that he's blown. I'm like, oh man, does she know what she just said? Like, he's blown it out of the water.
Yeah. And that whole thing, better than Ember. That is Trump. Oh no, I know. Yeah, I know that was Trump. Trump was found guilty of stealing money from a children's cancer. Yeah, no, that's just examples I could think off of my head. If you check the news, it will not be hard for you to find examples of Donald Trump pardoning the worst of the worst in our society.
Oh, the Honduras, was it former president?
Not just him. I mean, it's not just, the Honduras president who was responsible for 400 tons worth of cocaine coming to the United States. Yeah, sure, that guy. And then there's other CEOs that have been, embezzlement. It's just so many things. It's not really hard. Criminals, let me see if I can find this.
They're killing all the right people. They're pardoning all the right people.
Yep.
It's divine.
Here's an article from Project Syndicate called Trump's Pardon Racket. Some guy was in jail and his family paid Trump $1 million. And he was let out of jail. He was pardoned. Full list of Donald Trump pardons for 2025. This was updated on the 3rd of December. Series of pardons. Those, of course, for the attacks. Oh, somebody earlier asked for, it's almost time to go. I better do it. So somebody earlier asked for the Holy Halos. I think it was Aaron. Aaron, we're fixing to wrap up the show. I will close the show with the Holy Halos. Okay, so you can get you some Holy Halos in. Full unconditional pardon to police officers who killed a 20-year-old person of color. That's not an anti-abortion activist. Rod Blagojevich. Remember him, the corrupt politician from Minnesota? Black hair, used to have black hair. He was kind of a thing. Former Republican Tennessee State Senator Kelsey, who was 2 weeks into a 21-month prison sentence for illegal campaign finance scheme. Thomas Caldwell was convictions January 6th convict who was released. Devin Archer, full pardon, who has been convicted for defrauding a Native American tribe in a $60 million bond scheme. Trevor Middleton has been sentenced to 4 years in prison for fraud, but remained free pending an appeal. So he's just giving all the criminals all the pardons. Just, pardon. Anyway, there we go. Let me read our super chats real quick, and then I'll let Miss Ryan go, and I'll play that commercial for our people. Let me see if I got it here. Let's see. Ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Fan funding, we got $5 from Left-Handed Jedi. Says, how would religion and hypersleep work on a generational ship? How would you reconcile all that time asleep and not praying? That's an interesting, it depends on the strict nature of the religion. Thank you for the $5 super chat. There's a show called Raised by Wolves, and it's about these people who colonize a place. Yeah, and they're actually Mithras. They believed in Mithras, except for Mithras was real, and the people back 2,000 years ago who wrote down the book of Mithras or whatever were actually writing down scientific secrets that helped them develop technology, and it's a really weird story, to be honest. All right, guys, I am off to save the world. Thank you, Ryan.
Have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Right, here we go. Holy Halos from my friends. Here you go. Be back in just a second. We'll wrap it up. Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable, but every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt, no more awkward I'm saving myself for marriage speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be. But soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and a cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father, we're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% works for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like we
Wait a
have...
second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your poultry.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
You may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes: conservative, medium, and liberal.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goats, the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen